Okay, well, we are trying something new with this video. Um, I have been feeling guided and being told essentially that I need to start sharing the wisdom that I have within me. So, I have lived some life, that's for sure. I've been through quite a few things, and I feel like I am needing to start telling the the stories and the wisdom that I have been learning. Essentially, I am the type of person that is a silver lining, always seeing the silver lining. Um, kind of, I wouldn't say Pollyanna, like just positive person all the time, because I've definitely been to the depths of darkness. But I do climb my way out quite quickly, it seems, and I am able to transmit a lot of my pain, um, and a lot of the dark times that I go through quite quickly for whatever reason, and I can kind of turn them back into light and yeah, transmute them. So um, I've been being told that I have a lot of wisdom to share, and just in conversations that I have with people that pass by or that I meet in the grocery store, or new friends that I encounter. And so I just am feeling, for whatever reason, this is a time to start sharing more of my voice and getting more comfortable in front of the camera and the videos and all of the things. So I am also a perfectionist, so this setting is not perfect for me. But I am pretty much a nomad right now and traveling from place to place. And I'm actually back in San Diego visiting family and my dad. And so I'm trying to make do with what I have and the resources that I have and the abundance that I have, and pass that along to you. And I just am feeling like people just need people, like to surround them, to support them. And I told God, the universe, divine spirit, that I want to be a service to humanity, that I want to serve humanity, I want to serve Earth, and I want to serve the creatures of this earth. And so there are things that I plan on doing and plan on sharing, but I feel like this is, um, I'm sensing that this is the time to start sharing more of my voice and more of my story, to be able to help others in whatever way possible. And these videos will probably be like a run on sentence. I'm famous for run on sentences. My mom was a grammarian, and she always looked at my writing and was just like, Katie, you can't keep on having a run on sentence. You do need to have a period in there, or a comma, or a semicolon. So, um, but I famously, I'm just like, I don't even know where to put those, or what to do with any of that. So, that's why I always have my mom read my over my stuff and look over my things that I wrote, because I love writing. I absolutely love writing, and I would just it would just be like a long sentence. So so that's kind of what these videos are going to be like, is a run-on sentence. So welcome to my run-on sentence. Welcome to the party. And I'm not quite sure what will come through. I'm just kind of having things that pop in my head and sharing them with you. I'm not getting really any clear guidance of what needs to be said and when or anything like that. So I'm just kind of popping on here and hoping that I'm always a person that kind of pushes the button and hope things don't blow up. So um, I've never, I'm also a planner though too. So maybe you can relate to like having this kind of dichotomy within yourself where you're just like, I'm this, but I'm also this. And they kind of clash sometimes. I'm not quite sure how I function. And maybe that's something that you can relate to is where you're just like, um, you're one thing and then you're also the opposite thing. And sometimes they cancel each other out. You're just like, well, it is what it is. This is who I am. So take it or leave it. So let me just kind of dial in and see if there is any messages that are coming through from the other side, any messages from Mother Earth or the creatures that need to come through at this time, and see if they have anything. So the one thing that I'm getting is crystals. For me, crystals started off with they're beautiful, and I love how they look and the aesthetic. They're aesthetically pleasing, and when my mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, of course, like I was looking for anything and everything that one would like just help her and her mindset, and just like help bring a sense of peace and contentment to this essential death sentence that she received. And beyond like supplements and food and everything that we tried, crystals was a big part of that too. And I think that's when I first started getting into learning about crystals and the different things that gemstones and stones could help with. And from there, it just kind of it took off. And I, during her journey to essentially passing, I wasn't able to really dive into learning too much about them. But what came about after she transitioned was a like a space for healing. They provided a comfort, a healing to me that nothing else would at that time. And I've talked about this in one of my healing videos a few weeks back, and it was like crystals and walking amongst the trees in the forest were both the two types of medicine that helped heal, that helped create a space for myself. I know. There's this helicopter coming overhead. Ugh, of course, right when I'm starting to video. And I apologize for the fan. It's HELL hot here where I am in San Diego. So the fan is going, so you're going to hear that in the background. I'm not turning that off because I don't want to be over here sweating. Yeah, so that is something that continues to show up. Crystals continue to show up in my life in various forms. And I just love their presence, and I love looking at them. I love holding them. I love wearing them. I have my green kyanite necklace on, and my right now I have all my blue because I've been working on my throat chakra. And so these are the things that like have helped. Crystals have really helped bring a sense of healing and peace in my life. And for whatever reason, uh, you could start looking into crystals. I feel like that is something that could really help wherever you are in your journey. It could really help you and hold you and keep you safe and make you feel secure. And people say that crystals don't really, they're just inanimate objects, right? But I feel like every thing on this earth can have a spirit, can have a name. Thinking of the Pocahontas song right now, Disney's Pocahontas. And I resonate with that so much. And maybe that's something that you are that you are understanding as well. That things are starting to have more of a presence, more of a deeper meaning in your life. And I would pay attention to those things. That's something that if things continue to show up in your life over and over and over again, that's something to pay attention to. I feel like a lots of times it can be those angel numbers, those repeating numbers. It can be even numbers that are like 7. As I'm looking at the time right now, it's 333. So, thank you for that confirmation. So yeah, it's like just start paying attention to what is surrounding you, what is coming up, what's being repeated over and over and over again, because that's something that is trying to get your attention, whatever it may be, whether it is your thought that you're thinking at that time and you notice that number of 333. For an example, say you're just kind of in the depths of despair. Anna Green Gables. Oh man, so many things. And you look at the clock and it says 333, or you're just kind of, you notice something and a butterfly flies by. Like, notice those times when things like that happen, because it can be something that is an upliftment. If it can be something that spirit is sending in to bring your attention to, or kind of get you out of that frame of mind. Something that is being brought up is when my mom passed, after, gosh, it was probably a month or two after, we were trying to like memorialize her Facebook page so people could continue to post on it. And I mean, she had all those memories on it. And I had a business at the time that I was running Facebook ads on, and she was my like business partner essentially, even though she just wanted to be the like executive assistant, no higher than that. She didn't want the responsibility. That's what she'd always say. But I put her on my account and her Facebook, like on my account, just in case if something happened, and I could get back in or whatever. I had totally forgot about her being on my account, and my Facebook ads account got hacked. And long story short, like it was through her account, and I wasn't able to get back into her account, and her Facebook like personal page ended up getting taken down or not access, like I couldn't access it anymore, which wasn't a big deal, um, but it was like losing another piece of her, and so I was devastated, and it was like that memory of her that I felt like I was losing, so I was devastated, and I remember going on a walk, just kind of like crying excessively, and uh, couldn't quite bring myself out of that depths of despair feeling. And my mom sends me hawks, and in particularly when I cannot seem to climb my way out of those kind of desperate moments or those really deep, dark moments, she'll send me a hawk that's perched on a fence, um, that's like super close by. Like I could take a step and like reach out and touch it if I want to. Like that's how close it can be. And the hawk usually just kind of sits there and watches and looks at me and doesn't move, doesn't fly away, or anything like that. And when I was on my walk that day, just bawling essentially my eyes out, because I was so devastated about losing her, like another piece of her. Um, I like walked up the hill and it started kind of going down. And on the fence, like I was looking down like the whole time, and it just like I looked up, and right there was a hawk sitting on the fence, perched there. And I just like, it took my breath away. And it stopped me in my tracks, and it took my breath away, and it like snapped me back into the present moment, into the reality, in the present. So, and I was just so grateful because I wasn't able to get out of this cycle that I was in right then and there. I just kept on digging myself deeper into that hole, into that despair, of losing like another piece of my mom. Um, and ever since then, that kind of has been a sign from her, and a way to help me out of getting too down like the rabbit hole of being sad or crying, or really in that emotional state where you just can't quite seem to stop, um, that spin, that spiral downward, right? So, and that, I mean, that started a few days after she passed as well. Um, so I knew that was a sign from her. Like a few days after she passed, I was sitting in the backyard too, and I was looking down, kind of just in the moment, and then I looked up, and right there, perched on the fence, was this big, huge hawk. And so that kind of started it. I didn't quite understand signs at that time, from loved ones that had passed. But it started me thinking about the things that, like going down that path. And I think what I got really interested in was learning about like what happens after death. Because my mom was my best friend, and there were so many things that happened that I could contribute to. Like, this is my mom's spirit. I could feel her coming through. And, um, and I'm glad that I continued to, I'm a researcher, so I'm glad that I continued to, a little nerd that way, um, to continue to learn and be open to the possibilities of things that people can't explain. Um, and people can't quite scientifically express the reasons why um, these things happen. So I don't know why I went down that road today, um, but I just felt like maybe someone here needs to hear that life does not end after death. It continues on in another form. And even to this day, I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I was was watching a pup and pet sitting, and the owner had Disney, and I was watching the Moana 2, the second Moana, and her interaction with her grandmother on the beach. If you haven't seen that movie, I'd highly recommend it. It's a great movie, but her interaction, I forget exactly what she said, the grandma and her, like what the verbiage was, but it was essentially like, um, I'm still here, just different, like just in a different form. And that was something that I was just like, again, tears. It's been almost 5 years now. It'll be 5 years since my mom transitioned and passed. Um, and still to this day, like even as I'm talking to you right now, I'm like holding back the tears. Um, so it's something that is still moving through um, the grief of it, and I think with each thing that happens in your life, it like allows you to hold a little bit more space the next time. Um, Maybe be a little bit more prepared and be able to process a little bit more the next time it comes around. And I think that is something that is like I've been learning through my journey. And oof, I don't want to share this, but um, I think when I was 27, um, I had a tumultuous relationship with a guy, and we got pregnant, and it was not I was not a good relationship. He was younger than I was, and definitely did not want to have a baby at that time. And I was at the time that I did, but I was also in a very vulnerable position, and not really strong in my own self worth. And we talked about it and we discussed it, and ultimately decided to have an abortion. And so that was completely different, completely against what I grew up as. I grew up in a very Christian home, and that was just like, that was the end all be all, and a big no. And knowing what I know now in regards to spirit and in regards to energy and life beyond death. Um, I've healed a lot of that. And I think that journey of healing and of grief prepared me for losing my mom as well. I remember thinking about that as like I was trying to move forward after my mom had passed. I remember thinking that was something that I think that was the first real understanding, closeness that I had with grief and with loss. That was like very, very close to my heart and to my home. And I had to go through therapy, and I did tapping, emotional freedom technique tapping. There was EMDR. I had to do so many things to forgive myself and forgive him and forgive this stuff that just kept on coming up from it. I had to learn how to trust myself again, trust my decisions again. And it's been a long road, a long journey to that. And I think that's where, when I said at the beginning of this video, is like I have been now able to really turn my pain into something that can be of help to others. And this was not my intention to talk about today. So thank you, Spirit, for helping me with this message. But I realized during that time that I felt very alone, and I felt like I was by myself. I didn't tell many people, and still to this day don't tell very many people. But I felt like there was this kind of lack of being able, or there's like kind of stuffing it down to not be shamed for it because of the way that I grew up. And so I didn't feel like I could tell anyone or talk to anyone about it in my circle. And so it took me a while, a long while. And I mean, I'm 42 now, and I am just now being able to just more talk openly about it and feel like I'm more confident in myself to stand and see my worth. I've also learned a lot about spirit and been able to actually connect. Always felt like she was my daughter, and I was able to reconnect and connect with her and see that like kind of soul contract that we had together. And I do believe that we're still connected and still have that contract to come forth in this lifetime, in this on this plane, this earth plane. But it was definitely something that just, it broke my spirit, and I had to learn how to crawl out of that hole. And I did it by myself, not knowing about spirit, not knowing about my guides at that time, just felt very vulnerable and left by myself, my own devices. and just trying to figure out how to heal um, from that hurt, from that devastation. Now, there's more to this story. Soon after that, I'm not being gossipy at all, but to like kind of put some more salt in the wound, there was the guy that I was with actually got another girl pregnant soon after that, and she kept her child, and they continued on. So there was just this devastation that surrounded this. And I mean, talk about dark night of the soul. I was in the deep, murky, murky depths of darkness. And yeah, I think that's why I'm sharing this today. And I hope that I have enough courage to post this. um, but I just feel like this is something that many women walk through alone. And I didn't feel like I could tell the closest women in my life, because I feel like there was going to be judgment towards me, or like condemnation. So, and that probably wasn't the case with all of them. I just was scared of losing the support that I had. And it's very interesting, a similar feeling came over me after my mom passed, and feeling like, and all these things were happening where I was feeling like I was getting these gifts, receiving my gifts, or opening up to these gifts of like being a medium, being an animal, like intuitive communicator, and being psychic, and having all my clairs kind of open up, wide up. And I, again, was at this kind of wall. I hit this wall, excuse me, of, of not being able to feel like I could share with the people that were closest around me, because I felt like I was going to be rejected or cut off from their support. And I just wanted to have their support. I needed their support at that time, and I couldn't feel like I could share what was going on around me, within me, because I thought that they would condemn me or cut me off, or think that I was wackadoo. And I was also learning about my healing abilities too, which then brought up a lot of stuff like, man, why didn't this come about before my mom passed? Like, there was just a lot of things. And when I tell you that my story is like, there's so many pieces, so many things that I've been through. And I feel like this is a community that you are someone that has been through very similar things, if not similar, but things that have, where you felt like you can't be open, you can't share with someone or the people in your life, because you feel like if you do, they are gonna just be like, hold up. This is weird. So I'm gonna walk away from this, because and you can't like, it feels like if you lose that support too, then you like, you don't have anything left, and you can't afford to lose that little amount of support, even if you can't fully be yourself. You kind of would rather be a little bit fake, wear that mask, and put that mask up, that disguise, not be your authentic self, and in exchange for having this, at least having the support in your life. And I know that all too well. And it took me a very long time to be able to be this bold, to be this brazen, and talk about this. And essentially, I'm talking about it with strangers. Although I feel like if you are brought here to this video, we're not strangers. Our souls know each other. Our spirits know each other. And you are brought here to know that you're not alone in this. And you're brought here to know and be told that you matter. You matter. You matter to me. I know we just met, but you matter to me. And you matter to spirit. And this earth would not be the same without you being here. So you matter to this community at this time. You were meant to be here for a reason. And I see you. And I wish during the time that I was going through the things that I was going through, that someone would just be here with me and see me in my most authentic self. Like, mask off, disguise off, heart open, kind of laying it bare. And I wish that someone could just hold my hand and be here with me in my truest form. And so that's what I'm here for you. That's what I'm doing here for you. I want to hold your hand in this moment and sit with you and be with you. In your most authentic self and your most raw self. In your pain. And that is something that many people don't quite know how to sit with people in their rawness, in their pain. And so I want to be that for you. I want to hold your hand and be that for you. I know so many people say this, but I'm going to say it. You're not alone in this journey. And if I could just jump through this screen and give you a big hug and hold your hand and hold space for you right now, I would. So I hope this will be sufficient enough for right now. I hope this message reaches you. My intention before I started this video was that it would reach whoever's ears needed to hear this message most. And if you're still here, just drop a little heart in the comments below, and I will respond with so much love and a big, big hug, sending to you, and sending that energy to you, so you know that you're not alone in this. So you know that someone sees you. So you know that you matter. You matter to me. You matter to Spirit. You matter to God. You matter to your angels. You matter to your guides. You matter. You matter. Okay. That was a pretty heavy one. I'm sorry if that was a little too much. You know what? I'm not going to apologize for that. That was a message that needed to come through, and I felt like it was needing to come through for quite a while now. And thank you for receiving it. Thank you for seeing me as well. All right, my dear. I am sending you so much love, so much energy, so much light, and a big, big, huge, huge hug. Okay, to end on like a little silly note, bringing the energy maybe back up a little bit. So when I was little, I always had a problem, again, the language and writing and reading always was an issue for me. And I saw a sign, again, it was with my mom, who was the English, like had an English degree. And there was a sign on a pole that we were driving by, and it said HUGE garage sale. And I didn't understand the silent E, the changing of the U, whatever all that stuff is. Still don't quite get it all to this day. But I said, oh my gosh, a hug garage sale. Mom, let's go to the hug garage sale. They're giving hugs out. And she was just like, Katie, it's huge garage sale. So, oh, there you have it. My cute little, I'm sure I was like 7 years old self. I was very disappointed that it was not a hug garage sale, but a huge garage sale. But wouldn't that be a really cool thing to have, is a hug garage sale? Like you could come by and get some hugs at a garage. Might also be a little bit creepy. I don't know. Anyways, all right, you guys. I think honestly, this is kind of many of the times how I transmute pain. I don't usually just like jump right into something that could be funny, but it's oftentimes where you're just like, well, that was heavy. I don't need to stay in this energy forever. And so my spirit guides and my angels are quite the funny people, spirits rather, beings, whatever you want to call them. And they will often kind of snap me back into just humor in different ways. Or just bring me out of it, so I'm not so like, because I can sit in things for quite a while. Like I said, I can go down those rabbit holes. So hopefully that kind of lifted your spirits thinking about a hug garage sale. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening and tuning in. I'm sending you so much love and so many hugs. Until next time, bye.